Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible right now, right? If yes, just please ping me so that I can understand if I'm audible or not. Okay. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes more and then we'll start. So just before, we get onto the session, let me just brief you guys about what, from derivative desk I'm planning to do for this sort of session. So what I have in mind is that, every month, let's say, I have a session like this for half an hour, 45 minutes, wherein we discuss about the market insight, for the following part of the series. We could do this at the start of the series, also including the rollover analysis, or we can also have in any, sessions, all the suggestions are welcomed as well. So, and this sort of session is what I'm planning is, we will discuss one indicator or one option, strategy, or, any how to read the option chain, or how do you guys, interpret my daily morning note, which I get a lot of queries, in between how to interpret and how to go about it. So it would be like a theory thing, for like first 10 minutes or so, just to brush up, the indicators once again, because we'll always have new people also joining in. And there are also people who are already aware of, many things in derivatives as well, but just to brush up the little, theory part, and then get on to the things where we discuss how is the market behaving right now, what do we do for the rest of the series. Then I will also discuss what sectors and what stock specific one can look up to now. And then also any sort of query that, you guys have, you can obviously post it, or put it in the chat box so that I can answer as many as possible. The reason I'm doing this, because throughout the day, while in the market, I keep getting endless queries, endless, requests, or, endless sort of people asking me about views, and people asking me, what indicators do I see, and people asking me how do I come up with calls, or, like this thing that, what is the rest of the series looking like. So this I'm planning on doing every month, so that this is a kind of an interaction session, more of not only a monologue thing. I hope it is a dialogue thing, so that, you ask questions, I'm there to answer, I give my views. If anybody has any sort of, suggestions also, that's most welcome here. So this is what this session would be more, not only learning, but interacting and, understanding, trying to understand. It will help everyone, each one of you also, to understand, what stocks, what sector to pick up, and, what to do. Yes, I'm getting a query about Havels. Yes, I will discuss, but we'll discuss it like, in the last 5-10 minutes or so. But yes, of course, this is the main agenda. So if everybody's okay with it, I would really like to continue doing this every month. And, I'm sure it will be beneficial to each and everyone. So let's not, waste any more time. I guess people have started joining in. Yes. So let me introduce myself. I'm Shilpa Raut. I handle the derivative desk for Prabhudas Leeladhar. And most of the calls that you see, there are two types of calls basically, where everybody of, each one of you receive. One comes from PL technical research, and one comes from PL derivatives. So PL derivatives I look after. I head the desk. So whatever calls that is mentioned as PL derivatives, it is from my end. So but that is one clarity that, many people keep asking me, because they mix up things. So I only deal with futures and options, only derivatives. So yes, of course, we'll discuss about India VIX, we'll discuss about PL, put call ratio, everything. Mr. Ashok, yes, if you're not PL client, then also it is okay. It is not something that you will not benefit. But of course, if you like our service and if you like our webinars regularly, or if you are interested, please do join PL, of course. Okay. So I'm sure. Okay, just can I know anything like Mr. Ashok is a first timer here. So anybody who people like you are, if you are there here, who are very new to derivatives, I should be knowing so that when I brush up also those little indicator things or all those theories, I actually give an insight from the beginning. So if it is like that, then it will be in fact very helpful for me also to know that what kind of an audience I have. Is it only PL in-house, branch people, or prospect clients? So anybody can just let me know. Okay, Mr. Sanjay Bhandari, a new to derivative. Okay. So when I discuss about this theory thing for like 10-15 minutes, please make sure to understand that this is a very brief thing that I will keep explaining. For a detailed thing about derivatives, all the indicators and all the strategies and how do we pick up calls in derivatives, we come in this paid webinars things in between, in like couple of 3-4 months, I do a paid webinar. You guys can register there. That would be a good 2 hours session wherein I discuss everything in detail, and I also help the new people who are new to derivatives and who are new to stock market also to pick the successful stock calls. How to pick the stock is the key thing in derivatives, I mean in market, by derivatives, in anything you do. So how to pick successful calls is what I try to teach. So let's not waste any more time, and we'll start. So today topic, as we all know, it is derivatives. So while I start with derivatives, one must understand that derivatives has few indicators that are very very important, and everybody who deals in derivatives market I mean for sure hear these terms like open interest, OI. OI is one such indicator in derivatives that everyone hears, and it is something that one cannot ignore if you are into derivatives market. So we will start explaining that for today. Next week, I mean the next session when we conduct, we'll discuss, of course, PCR. We'll discuss the other indicators as well. So please don't hurry and have patience. Even if you have any queries, you can always ping me. I'm there. I will answer you. But of course, please try and do it between marketers. It is more valid. Okay. So like I said, OI. So what is OI? OI is nothing but open interest. Open interest is what, as the name suggests, it is the number of open contracts that are active. That is the open contracts that people are trading. Like it is an interest that has been building up in the market. So why does this indicator, play so much of importance in derivatives? Open interest is one indicator that helps anyone into this derivative market to gauge the sentiment of the market. Jesse, you are into the market and you want to know, if I'm, let's say, picking up Reliance today. So Reliance, what is the mood of that stock today? Is it bearish? Is it positive? It is, sideways? What? How do we know that? Open interest helps in, understanding that. Open interest, like I said, it is nothing but the open interest that is lying of the, investors. And OI is one thing that when you club it with price and volume, it gives you a very concrete, view for your pick, for your stock, for your investment, whatever you're planning to. So OI when clubbed with price and volume. So how do we, infer this? If OI is positive, and yes, one more very important thing I need to tell you: OI and volume difference. Somebody's pinging me. Yes, I'll tell you what is the difference between OI and volume. See, OI can always increase and decrease because one buyer and one seller together they make it up as in one OI. But if you take it this in terms of volume, it would be two because there's one buyer and one seller. So number of transactions and done entirely gives us the volume. So volume can always rise. It can never, fall down. But OI, you always have to have one buyer and one seller. So combining two together, they make one OI. So OI depends, it can increase, it can decrease, but volume it never does. So OI when it is positive and the price of your stock of your pick is rising also, or it is positive, then the action usually that we take is long build up. It is a very clear and a very simple indicator. When OI is positive and price is also positive, the action that is supposed to be taken is bullish. That is, you have to go long for that stock. When OI is positive and price is negative, or OI is, price is falling, then the action that one has to take is short build up. That means the outlook is very bearish. Likewise, when OI is negative, like I said, OI can go negative as well. So when OI is negative and price is also, the price is positive, in that case, the outlook is mostly sideways, and the action that can be taken is, in terms, it could be short covering stage that we actually presume. So, and when OI is negative and the price is also negative, the action that is usually considered to be taken is that it is into long unwinding stage, and it's a sort of climax stage. So in this, what happens? OI, the first two stages where the OI is positive and the price is positive, it is bullish, and OI is positive and the price is negative, it is bearish. These two stages are usually very clear. Anybody, any random person can just, log in into NSE website and see where are the OI spurts happening, and go and check if the price is also positive or it is negative, and whether the stock is bullish or whether the stock is bearish. But the two important stages, wherein you have to have your understanding, and if anybody can actually have this grasp for the last two stages, that is the OI negative and price positive, the short covering and long unwinding stage, you get a higher margin for profits. Because when let's say Reliance OI is positive today, price is also positive today, and Reliance is trading at 20 to 20 today, and everything is positive, so I'll go long. But how long you have to then understand the option chain, and then you have to see the charts, then you decide how long will I take a profit of 10 rupees, or do I take a profit of 20 rupees. So it is likewise, these stages are definitely very clear, but how much profit will you make? It depends, on that momentum, and it is of course depending on each, what is taking capacity. But when you are into this short covering and long unwinding stage, it gives you a very, higher margin of a very decisive profits. Because let's say stock is, trading at sideways. So either it will go up or it will go down, right? There's no other way around. So if you have that thorough understanding of option chain analysis, and you can understand, or you have been, following the stock's trend, you will definitely know, you will have an understanding that this stock will, from this particular point, will turn positive. Usually short covering, we always see, very short but a very strong pull up happening for that particular script. That is why we keep on saying, why this price is suddenly rising, what happened is short covering happening. We keep on hearing all these terms, right? This is what happens whenever a stock, whenever your script is in short covering stage, it is in sideways movement. One particular moment will come where you see that suddenly price increases, and it goes into a positive section. So that is where the short covering happening. So if you can understand this stage, the third stage and the fourth stage, you have a higher scope of making more profits. In bullish and bearish stage also you will make profit, but in sideways and climax stage, that is a short covering and the long unwinding stage, if you are well aware of this, you have a scope of making more profits. So let's say Reliance, we all know, has a resistance as 2200. Reliance once goes above 2200 and the OI is increasing, everybody knows that it is a bullish thing, we will go for a long call. But let's say Reliance trading at 2180, 2185, let's say, and anybody following these indicators can understand that prices coming up from days low, OI is started going negative. That means that the shorts are getting squeezed, short covering will happen. So a person entering the trade at 2210 will make less profits than the person entering the trade at 2180 or 2185 or 2190, whatever. You get a higher margin of making profits. So this is what is the concept. So this is these two stages. Likewise, long unwinding. Long unwinding, like the outlook I have written already, it is climax. Why is it climax? Because usually what happens, the stock will either take a sharp turn upside, it goes for a V-shaped recovery, or it just falls down even more. So in that cases, what happens, if you take a trade, your stop loss is very, very minimum, and the profit margin goes very high. Suppose let's say, for a stock like ITC. We all know 200 is a very strong support. It is not falling below 200, but then it is also not going above 220 from a very, very long time. So let's say the stock is trading at 201 today. Let's say, so either there are going to be two things. Either it is going to break 200 and it is going to go down to 185, or it will again go from 201 to 212, 215, this stage. So in this case, what happens, whatever trade you take, whether it is long, a long one or a short one, your stop loss becomes very minimum. So your risk is very less. But if your profit happens, it will happen. And if it goes in your direction, let's say, you will get higher profits. So this is how these two stages are very important, and these two stages play a very crucial role. And active derivative traders, they try to gauge, these two sentiments very, very strongly. This is where they play the most, instead of going for a plain bullish or plain bearish, segments. So any query for this part? Sideways means, like I said, Reliance, let's say example I'm taking. 2200 is a support, we all know. Reliance is trading at 2195, 220, 2195, 220. It is not going up and down anywhere. So that is where it is sideways. So either it is going to fall down to 2150, or it is going to break 220 and going above that. So that is what it means by sideways. Long unwinding, like I said, OI is negative and price is negative, which means that it is ultimately, it has been into the negative zone for a while, and it is ultimately reaching all the support zones, like bottoming out thing. OI positive means, okay, in NSE site, you can always go and check for OI spurts. OI spurts, there you will see, few, whatever the OI changes is happening in all the FNO scripts, it comes there. So, there would be OI which would be positive, there would be OI which would be negative, plus 1%, minus 1%, plus 4%, minus 4%. This is how OI positive and negative means. No, you don't have to short in in the sideways zone. Sideways zones, remember, it is always 70%. It will give you a short upside. It will give you a very brief upside, but it will definitely give you 70% of the times. Mr. Dheeraj, I do refer to my FNO. It gives me all my data that I require. But even if you don't have any software, if you just hang around the NSE side, you will definitely get many more things that we actually get from all the softwares. Okay, any more queries, so that for this theory part? Okay, so this was what I was intending for a theory. So this, why I discussed this today, because whatever I'm going to talk about the market scenario for the rest of the series, and how I pick my short calls and long calls, it will be all depending on this. So this is what I wanted everybody to know. So now, what is the market scenario for the rest of the series? See, this is, let's say I have taken I have consolidated data and have come out with this. This is the sector update, this price. If anybody was asking me what is OI positive and OI negative, so see, this is the OI chart, this is the price part. So OI here, 24%, it is positive. So this is minus 3.5. So this is OI negative. I hope this clears that doubt. Okay, let me tell you what is this. Like I said, I have just consolidated the data for everybody to understand, what to look for the rest of the series. This page, this slide is the sector update that has happened over the past 2 weeks. In the past 2 weeks, I have come out with, the price, OI, and then I have also the volume indicator here. I've made up a chart, pie chart, where you get this. So if you see, these are all the sectors: chemical sector, cement sector, infra, pharma, auto, FMCG, all the sectors with all the OI, overall OI for that sector over the period of 2 weeks. Okay, what do you mean by price of chemicals? This is the chemical sector as a whole. The sector as a whole has given a price rise of 4.7% with OI of 24.3% over the past 2 weeks. Mr. Saurabh, thank you so much. I hope I continued doing all the good work. So this is what I mean. And likewise, cement sector, it is, the price has moved to 1.9% and with negative OI of 3.5% overall for the past 2 weeks. So just quickly, one thing, tell me, when cement is the price is 1.9% and OI is negative 3.5%. So can anybody tell me what stage exactly is the sector now? Short covering, correct. So likewise, anybody can tell me if there is any bearish sector? Yes, correct. And any index, Mr. Dilip, yes. Media, it is not bearish. Media, it is short covering, Mr. Sanjay, because price is increasing positive and OI is negative. That means it is in the short covering stage. So have a look at this page very nicely. What I'm trying to tell you, what we have here is the sector-wise price movement over the past 2 weeks. OI, how the OI has been, whether the OI has been adding up or no OI has gone down. Also with the volume chart here, this volume pie, where you see, what share of, participation has been there from across all sectors. See, index is 23%. It is very high. That means maximum participation has been in index. Then you have then finance 8%. Then you have metals, 15%. Then you have infra 5%, auto 6%. So this is what the 15 days, chart says us. So if, I have to infer that, going back 15 days, I'm looking at this data today. So for my, favorite picks for tomorrow, let's say I'm trading for tomorrow, I would be picking up strong sectors, right? What will I pick up? I will pick up power. Price has risen over 11%. OI additions have been more than 41%, reality 23%, then, oil and gas, metals. And then if I look at volumes here, then metals is one very clear pick of mine because price is up, OI is up, and metals, volume is very high also. So that is one sector that I look at. FMCG I will look at. Indices, of course, we will look at. IT, we will look at, all the sectors wherein the OI, the price and volume are also going on the upside, are on the higher side. So this would be my sectors that I would actually try to play, right? Any doubt on this? What I'm trying to, tell you guys? Okay. So now let's see what happens, in the last week, 15 days back. This is what we saw. Now let's see what happens. Yes, this is the last week data, right? Last week data, how it has happened, how it has played. Yes, sorry. This is the weekly data. Okay. Last week, what we saw, our favorite picks were power, IT, metals, oil and gas, chemicals, so now what has happened over the past week? This is what is the picture. still in power, I mean, in strong momentum, we have power sector, which is again adding 39.7% and gaining over 9%. Reality still doing good, IT still doing good, metal still doing good. And if I look at the volume data, I still see metals doing the 15%, and FMCG holding good, banking is okay, not if that very great. So this is how, I keep on thinking. So, whatever I had chosen 2 weeks back, if I look after the data a week back, I still see that, few sectors are still in what, is still in my favor. Like power is still in my favor, metals is still in my favor, IT is still in my favor, FMCG is almost still in my favor. And what has gone down, like we said, indices in the past chart, this was the 15 days before chart, where we were saying the only bearish thing was index. Of course, nifty is making new all-time high. So bank nifty is the indices that is slowing down. That means banking are the thing that will actually dragging the nifty little down where it should be or is going to. So what we see from here, the indices bank nifty was a weak link. So we need to see if the following month, I mean the following week, did bank nifty actually perform more down? Yes, bank nifty has started slowing down. OI has come down. Price has entered the negative zone. Previous week, OI was 7%. Price was flat. So that means slowly, very, very minimal, but then bank nifty was going down. We also saw cement sector and media into the short covering stage. So we need to understand, we have to see if this short covering is actually going into a bullish signal or it is turning into a bearish signal. So we have to also follow the next week, how it is happening. And also, if somebody wants to, I know people keep asking, how do we go also for the sell counters? Here, what should be the ideal sell counters for sell sectors for us? We have to see where the OI and the price participation is minimum. Let's say auto, it's only 2.9%. So this is one sector I would look. It is not a bearish sector yet, but I will have a watch over this sector because price is also very less reason over the sector. OI additions are also quite minimum. I will also try to look at, this is the 15 months back, 15 months previous chart. So like I said, auto I would look, it is only 2.9%. That is one sector I will keep on looking. I will have a look at capital goods sector as well. OI is very high, 15%, but price of the entire sector overall is only 3.7%. Likewise, FMCG also I will look. 3.7% rise overall, but OI is only 3.5%. So for me, not exactly a bearish, but a sector to look that can go into a bearish sectors would be auto, FMCG, and capital goods. So let's see what happens the next week. The next week, like we said, banking started slowing down. Capital goods, see, it has started coming down on the sectoral basis. OI has also reduced. That means it is slowly getting into the bearish zone sector wise. Auto, it has come actually slowed down more. It is only 0.17% gains overall, and OI has gone down negative. Now, if price rises and OI decreases, then it is a short covering stage, which might be a good thing. But if price goes negative and OI also goes negative, then it is again going out into the bottoming out zones. So that is a weak sector. Cement has come down very, very low. Like we said, cement, it was in short covering stage previously. See here, minus 3.5% OI, and overall sector it is 1.9%. The following week it reduced. OI gone into the negative zone yet, and price has also reduced very much. So cement is also one sector that I will now look more closely if I want to have some bearish, I mean a sell, stock picks if I want to have. But my bullish signals are still bullish. Power, it is still good. Metals, it is very good. Technology, it is very good. So few, and pharma of course it is also going very strong. So for me, the last week performance tells me that for the past 15 days and for the past 1 week, what sectors are giving me clear bullish signs would be pharma, would be metals, would be power, would be IT. And what sectors that I can look to have a sell scripts, it would be capital goods, It could be cement now, it could be autos as well, it could be oil and gas as well. So let's see what happened last trading session. I mean, yesterday, what happened after the week. This is the daily, this is the yesterday's data that I had consolidated. So let's see what happens. If I had chosen, let's say on Thursday, that I would go blindly for metals or power or IT or FMCG or pharma, would I be making profits? In most of the cases, yes. Metal still doing good. Pharma is still my good pick. Technology is my still good pick. And what has led me down? Power saw very steep corrections, so power let me down. And what about my sales sectors? Capital goods still in the negative zone. Cement has gone negative, like we were discussing. FMCG, we had a watch list and it was behaving negative yesterday. So yes, mostly what the data was supposed to interpret, it has interpreted that way. So in this case, this is the data for yesterday. So we have a data that is that has been for the past 15 days, for the past 1 week, and for yesterday. If you sum up every data here, we will see that clearly for the rest of the series, at least for this week or 10 days now, 10 trading sessions that we have now, we have to clearly go for pharma, we have to go for metals, we have to go for IT and FMCG. We have to look, we might get few scripts that can be going into cell zone. But FMCG, I will always be very skeptical, because as the pandemic lockdown unlock has started, there would be many counters in that sector, particularly in FMCG, that will actually give a very strong run up. So FMCG, even if it is a sector by sell, but there would be very selective stocks that would actually go for a sell. Otherwise, it would actually logically it would become a very strong sector for coming months, not necessarily maybe this series, maybe July. FMCG is one sector that can actually outperform again. So this is how is the main chart. So what do we have here? This is the heat map for the entire FNO stocks. Again, this is the past 15 days heat map. Every stock, the price here, like let's say IBOL Housing Finance, 21% is the price movement, 34.4% is the OI. The upper one is price and the lower one is OI. So what do we see here? In the past 15 days, IBOL Housing Finance has moved above 28% and it has still added 34% of OI, open interest. So which means that it has been always very long, and we have all seen the rally that IBOL Housing Finance has seen. So my motive to give you this slide is because let's say we had picked up for the past 15 days before counters like power, sectors like power, then metals, then pharma, then FMCG. So do we see actually those stocks behaving the same way here? Mostly yes, but we are also seeing that the finance sector, the NBFCs are doing very good, which was not reflecting quite very strongly in that the charts that we see. But apart from that, every other thing that we had picked up are doing very well. We see the pharma coming up very nicely, we see the oil and gas behaving very nicely, we see the IT index, the metal index, everything playing the way it's supposed to be. And like we said, the banking was the drawback there. So if you see here, all the red ones, mostly we have banks: Federal, CUB, then HDFC, then ICICI Bank, then Axis Bank. So these Kotak banks. So yes, of course, banking. That is why the index was showing on the bearish side. Even though Nifty was up, Bank Nifty is falling down. So if I see the next 15 days, what has happened? Next 15 days, again, we see the pharma behaving very strong. We see the power still playing that way. And like I said, the unlock theme, like stocks like IRCTC, Indigo, PVR, Bata, Titan, they all will do really nice if the unlock theme plays. That will come in your favor. So FMCG, even if the sector shows negative, stock specific run up will happen. So that is one sector. So one, we have to be careful. But apart from that, whatever sector we picked, energy, then metals, then pharma, they're all doing good as they're supposed to do. So if we see yesterday's heat map, yes, Mr. Ashok, now this is yesterday's heat chart. Look what has happened. If on Thursday I was to go blindly for metals, pharma, and IT, just look at this heat map and see, what sort of profits one could make. You would be so bang on, hitting the bullseye. Stocks like SAIL, Oro, Tata Steel, Coal India, Jindal, MGL, then Glenmark, NMDC, Piramal, Cadila, Hindalco, all those sectors that were clearly giving us a hint from the past 15 days that this is the sector that will play, is actually playing. And this is what will likely play in the coming week, or let's say the rest of the series as well. So rest of the series, very clearly we have, winning sectors: metals, pharma, IT. So this is what one should be focusing on the coming series. So let's get down to the sectors and the individual stocks. Sectors, we knew that these are the sectors that we have to see on the bullish and the bearish. So let's see how the stocks are behaving. So this is the technology sector. I have the upper line gives the price over the weekly, and the second slab gives the price over the daily. This is the weekly and this is the daily. So technology over the weekly, you can see it has been such a strong sector clearly. Even on daily, it is a very, very strong sector. So IT is a clear winner here for coming week now. For coming week, for coming series, one has to go blindly long in IT sector. Likewise, metals on weekly, last week, metals was in a divided play. Few counters up and few counters down. But on the daily, the sentiment has turned. Even the weekly performing worst stock NMDC, it has gained here on the daily basis. That means the momentum has changed for the sector. And yes, in fact, this is where what I meant was a short covering or the long unwinding stage. The metal index is into that stage that is going to boom likely for the rest of the series. Pharma. Pharma on weekly, like you can see, Piramal. Pharma is also quite a very strong sector if you just look at this weekly heat map. And if you look at the daily heat map, then also if you see, it is a very strong sector. See, this is very interesting. In pharma, if you see on weekly, Lupin and Apollo Hospital were on the bearish zone, very less, but on the bearish, on the negative side. And if you see short covering stages, all the blue ones are short covering, green ones are long unwinding, red and yellow are short and long unwinding. So if you see the short covering stages were Torrent Pharma, Cipla, Divi's Lab, Sun Pharma, Biocon, and long unwinding Apollo Hospital and short Lupin. In the daily, see what happened. From the short covering, Cipla is turning into bearish zone. Divi's Lab is also turning into the long unwinding stage. And Lupin and Apollo Hospital that were on the bearish zone, they have turned into positive and short covering stage. That means one can actually look at these two stocks particularly now in pharma, Apollo Hospitals and Lupin, if you want that higher margin of profits. Your risk would be there, but a minimum risk. But your margin, if your profit, if your view turns right and if it goes long, you will have a higher margin of profits there. So likewise, we can see Piramal on the weekly has risen over 16%, and Oro 5.5%, and daily also Oro has risen 5.5%. 5%. That means that Oro has just started this new rally. So Oro Pharma is also one counter that one has to look now. Likewise, this is FMCG. Like I said, FMCG on the weekly looked rock solid, rock solid. But yesterday we witnessed the complete, opposite trade. But like I said, FMCG is a crucial count sector now to, go short. It is not very advisable because these are sectors that will perform as per situations now, unlock and locking, the lockdown and the unlock patterns. So be very careful if you're choosing any counters from here, but don't, just blindly go for short. So what else? Like I said, capital goods would be my sell sector now. And like we can see, BHEL, BEL are doing fine, but every counter they are little on the weakish side. So yes, that is something that you can do, and you can actually think about. If anybody wants to hedge, I mean, two buys and one sell, that is how we should play in the market. This is how we should be doing. Cement also, like we have discussed, it was in short covering, then it has slowly started coming down. Except see Ambuja Cement, it has grown reasonably up. So if one has to look at any short counters, so it can be Grasim for now. Grasim is one stock that is looking on daily and weekly as well, little on the downside. Banking, like we discussed, weekly also it was a mixed thing, and daily also it is a mixed thing, but more on the downside. So this is how one has to play. So when you select a sector, then you go script wise and then you pick your stocks. Okay, so let me just see many queries, many queries. Okay, I just can't. You can't hear your voice. Is everybody having the same issue, or is only this only particular person? Okay, there has been many queries. So can you guys again please write what you want, so that I understand what is everybody wanting to know. It is our question and answers now. So tell me. So this is the performance sheet, my calls, my loss calls, my profit, and the net result for the month. So yeah, ask me queries, any any stocks anybody wants to know, or any particular view you guys want to know. India VIX and put call ratio, we will definitely discuss that also. India VIX, just for now, please do know that it is into a very safe zone. It is around 15 only, so it is very safe. So there's no uncertainty at all. Okay, Mr. Lokesh, thank you so much for that wonderful feedback. I will try my best to keep posting profitable calls. Okay, REC and Tata Motor. So the view for REC and Tata Motor. Okay, just hang on. Let me just. Okay, see, REC trading at around 160, 161 now. REC has a very strong resistance at 165. So 165, if crosses, then we will see 170, 175. Till then, we'll have a support at 157 right now. Okay, I'll have to make the query screen much bigger. I can't see all the queries happening. Okay, Havels. Somebody's asking me about Havels from a long time. Let me just see. Havels actually has a very strong resistance at 1040. It is trading at 1018, 1020 now, but it also has a good support on immediate basis at 1012, 1013. So it should bounce back from here. Granules. Okay, Granules has a support at actually 318 now and resistance at 345. So it has to cross that. Mr. Rajesh Hikal, actually it's not an FNO, so I can't really comment on that. Pfizer, it will definitely touch 6,000, not to worry. Zeal, it will be 230 has a resistance above that. It would be very nice. PNB, it is very likely to touch 48, 49 on immediate basis if it holds 40. Pidilite, yes, Pidilite, I want to, wanted to actually discuss that particular stock, Mr. Sham. Actually, 2100 is a support, but it is not crossing 2160 decisively. So that is why it is stuck there. So it is that range. Tata Motors, it is very bullish. You can have a stop loss of 330 for time being and go long. ONGC 120 to 123 is a good support. You can go for targets of 130 to 135. Somebody stuck, Mr. Soros. Sun Pharma 730 CE, you are stuck at 22 rupees. Okay. Sun Pharma, as I told, I just informed everybody that pharma is looking rock solid now. So Sun Pharma, keep holding. We still have space for the series to expire. But yes, 700 is a very strong resistance. Above that only it will be up. Coal India, it is super solid. A stop loss of maybe 158 now, and one can go long completely. So any queries more, you guys can always just ping me. I will definitely try and clear more queries. So HDFC Bank, Cipla. Okay, I'm really getting queries. Okay, everybody has my number, right? You can all just ping me your view list. I will definitely try and help everybody. So for now, we are running out of time. I hope this session is what, but looking at the number of queries, I guess we have to extend this sort of sessions for 1 hour. So it will be helpful for everybody. I'm just typing my email, official email ID. You guys can always, ping me your query. I will reply everyone. This is the email ID, shilparaut@plindia.com. Please make a note of it, and you can ask me your queries there. I will definitely revert everyone. And for calls, please join the Telegram channel, PL mobile app, Odin, everywhere I keep sharing my calls. So thank you everybody. I hope the session was fruitful. And any queries, again, on my email ID, I will definitely answer everyone. Thank you.